Welcome to the Lost Asylum Sanctuary. Welcome to your new family and your new life. It all starts here. So, you have woken up in a strange environment. You have no idea how you got here, and you have no idea why you're being shown this information. Don't worry. We will explain all of your questions that you may have and give you all the information you will need to prosper in your new community. So to start, time for a brief history lesson. In October 2177, the corruption, greed, and evil of mankind consumed the world in a period of war and chaos. Nuclear bombs fell over the planet, scarring the surface and crumbling cities to ruin. The few areas to survive were left radiated and barren. Law and order destabilized and eventually withered away. There was little hope left for mankind. With one foul blow it had been brought to its knees. These times were known as the fall. After the fall, the world had changed more than one could imagine. Where cities had been sprawling metropolis, they were now ruined husks with barren wastelands stretching as far as the eye could see. Some unfortunate individuals who had been living in the vicinity of the remnant radiation signatures had been left horribly mutated. Wildlife was now more savage and dangerous. Without law and order, many resorted to murder and pillage just to survive. Despite this, there is one saving grace for humanity. Underground protective bunkers called sanctuaries were introduced in the lead-up to the war. These bunkers held many hundreds of individuals and provided safety and protection from the outside peril. You are now sitting in one of these bunkers. Lost Asylum. In October 2199, Captain Jacob Maxim formed the Legion of the Fall. Huzzah! Their mission was to protect the innocent and weak from the dangers of the wasteland. Maxim set up his base within the Lost Asylum Sanctuary and used the facility as a safe haven for those unfortunate wastelanders who were caught in the savages of the wasteland. You were one of those unfortunates. You were found in the wasteland in a very bad way, and the Legion have brought you back to safety. The good doctor, Dr. Halbert Warren, who you all have met, has nursed you back to health. However, protection of the innocent is only part of the mission. There are others out there who would see us fail in our mission, and their only aim is to hurt others like yourself. An evil group called the Syndicate have made it their goal to ascend to a seat of power and establish a government that will control the world by fear. The Syndicate have strived to achieve this by using a very powerful virus called the Forced Evolutionary Virus, or FEV. Their initial attempt was to wipe out the wasteland's mutant inhabitants in one foul swoop. Unfortunately, this did not go to plan, and only killed 25% of the mutants, whilst leaving the remaining 75 with faster cell regeneration. The other symptoms of this virus was a disease that has been spreading this land with great rapidness. The Blue Plague. Bad show. The number of Blue Plague victims has begun to escalate. The symptoms are very mild at first, but gradually get worse over time. At first, the victim has sudden chills, high fever, and a feeling of nausea. Next comes muscle cramps, painful swelling of the glands, and seizures. Then bleeding of the cochlea, continuous vomiting, urination of the blood, aching limbs, coughing, extreme pain, decomposing of the skin, extreme fatigue, gastrointestinal problems, delirium, coma, and finally death. Many victims have been found to have large blue lesions appear on their flesh, hence the name. Despite this, there is a hope to eradicate this horrible disease, and it starts with you. Here at Lost Asylum, we are currently researching the ways we can design a cure for this awful disease. The Blue Plague Research Program, or BPARP, was the dream of an extremely gifted physician, Dr. Adelius Warren. Together with Captain Jacob Maxim, they founded the program within this facility. The research was very fruitful in its findings, and Dr. Warren had finally came to the conclusion that 0.01% of the world's remaining population would hold the key to the cure within their blood cells. These cells could be utilized in such a way to provide an antidote and would ultimately eradicate the harmful cells of the disease. This is where you come in. In return for providing you shelter and protection at Lost Asylum, and for the medical treatment you have received, we have acquired from you a very minor sample of your blood for testing. Please do not worry, it was only a very small amount. And besides, if you are the one, you could be part of the most noblest thing a person could be part of, the savior of mankind. So now you know how important each and every one of you is to us here at Lost Asylum. Now it is time to go over some essential information that you will need to know during your time here. First, introductions. You will have all met Dr. Halbert Warren by now. Take a wave, Doctor. He is our brilliant resident physician, and son of BPOP founder Dr. Adelius. He has taken on the reins of the project and continues the research for the cure. As well as this, he is our sanctuary medic, administering stim packs and right away where required to the unfortunate sanctuary dwellers. If you need patched up or are feeling a little under the weather, or are vomiting up from radiation sickness, please go and see him. He's quite a friendly fellow. Next, many of you will have met the courageous Captain Jacob Maxim, founder of the Legion. Take a bow, Captain. He commands the Legion troops here at Lost Asylum. Their duty is to protect every one of you. They will guard the facility at all times from any of the dangers awaiting outside. If you are nervous at the prospect of being attacked from the wastelands, don't be! Our sanctuary doors offer 10 meters of reinforced titanium steel. Not even a super mutant can penetrate these doors. The doors are sealed at all times, so please do not attempt to leave the facility into the wastes, unless of course a Legion member is escorting you. This is for your own safety and protection, not because we want to take away your freedom. This leads me on to that which we all fear, the dangers lurking outside. You must be aware of this, so in the event that you are venturing outside, you will know what awaits you. The golden rule of thumb that must always be remembered is that when you leave the sanctuary, it is at your own risk. We have everything you need here, so there should be no reason to venture outside. Okay, so take a deep breath and listen closely. When I tell you about these things, please remember that you are safe and protected. This information is only for a precaution. Firstly, as stated previously, the wastelands are indeed a very savage and brutal place. Much of the wildlife has changed, and many of the wastelands' inhabitants are twisted beyond all measure, and will think nothing more of serving you up to their families for dinner. Firstly, we have ghouls. Now, these creatures used to be human like yourself. However, don't let their appearance deceive you, as many of these individuals are still human underneath their decrepit flesh. If you come across these creatures, please try to treat them with civility and courtesy you would give any other human. They have feelings too, you know. Some of you within this room may even be ghouls, in which case, if you have been receiving ill treatment from others, please notify your overseer. More on this later. Secondly, we have feral ghouls. Now, this is a completely different story. These creatures used to be ghouls, but due to what is thought is a constant exposure to radiation, they have lost all ability to reason and have become very aggressive. Feral ghouls are very hostile and have a very carnal need to constantly feed on others. This seems to happen more often to ghouls who are in isolation. The safest bet is to stay away from these creatures, as they will attack on sight. However, if you are concerned and have access to a firearm, a couple of well-aimed shots to the head should bring the creature down nicely. Next, raiders. These criminals are a group of wastelanders who've resorted to pillaging, plundering, and murdering to survive. They tend to organize into loose confederations of gangs in the wasteland, and are a constant problem. Because it's much easier for them to just shoot people for their money and food and other valuables than it is to earn an honest living. Despite this, there is always room for redemption, and some raiders are known to change their behavior. Some are known to even protect wastelanders, but it usually involves a payment for the protection. They tend to be lightly armed, but as they scavenge for whatever they find, caution must always be taken when near any sign of raider activity. Super mutants. Like ghouls, these creatures used to be human, but unlike ghouls, these creatures have no reason whatsoever. A result of the infection caused by the forced evolutionary virus, super mutants stand much taller and are more bulky and muscular than their pure strain humans. They are immune to disease and radiation and are gifted with superhuman strength and endurance. The rapid regeneration of their cells caused by the FEV makes them virtually biologically immortal, but not immune to death from injury. Having said that, they are very tough, and if you do come across one of these creatures, then you must run. If they caught you, they would surely rip you limb from limb, and collect these limbs for trophies to boast to others. Do not underestimate these creatures. Seriously, do not. Many a Legion soldier has been left a crumpled mess in their wake. Finally, the Syndicate occupation. A very well-armed and well-motivated military group, the Syndicate has goals to form their own government to rule over the masses using fear. Their advanced weaponry is second to none, and they usually send very efficient death squads to eliminate entire areas of its inhabitants to achieve their missions. Many reports suggest they even have technology to enslave mutants to work for them. If you witness any Syndicate agents, you must notify Captain Maxim or another Legion soldier immediately. If they are found to be in the nearby area, the Legion must prepare themselves for this defense, and action and timing will be critical. Okay, so now you know what awaits you outside. I'll bet you're glad that you're staying in for now. Whilst you're here, each and every one of you has a part to play. Firstly, for a successful community to prosper, a decision maker, a voice for the people, needs to be elected. There is a leader sitting amongst you. Are you the person to lead the people around you, or are you the person who will follow orders and protect your leader at all costs? Every one of you has a very important purpose. To determine that purpose, you must organize yourself in such a fashion that no enemy may cause you to falter. Law must be upheld, otherwise chaos will consume from inside. Firstly, you must all devise 5 rules between you. They must all be agreed by all and drawn up so that they all may adhere to them. You must also devise necessary punishment should anyone break these rules. There must be justice if rules are broken. Also, once rules have been devised, you must determine your purpose here at the Lost Asylum. You will be handed a generalized occupational aptitude test. This will give you a profession whilst you are in the sanctuary. You will also be paid for your work. The test will decide from all of you who will lead. The overseer will be decided from the results, and they will have the final say in any decisions that the group make. They will also enact any punishment that must be brought against crimes. Well, that wraps things up. I hope this provides you with the information you require to prosper in your new community. Remember, the fate of mankind rests on each and every one of your shoulders. Embrace your new family. This is your home. This is your Lost Asylum.